Right? Well, hello there, Rachel Peters. Renee Funk here with the Funk Collection, brokered by eXp Realty. We're live on Facebook. How are you, Rachel Peters?
I am doing fabulous. How are you?
I'm so good. I feel like I've had this just such a blessing and been so privileged to get to spend time with you lately. I know even recently we shared lunch together, and did that turn into like a 3-hour lunch together?
It did.
And so I feel like I've had this selfishness because you and I have got to know each other kind of quietly for a while, but now we get to announce to the world, and I just can't wait for everyone to learn more about you because I absolutely adore you 100%.
Thank you so much. And I feel the same exact way about you. And it has been really amazing to get to know you and better because you are the reason that I'm here in the first place with eXp. So.
We have lots of good things to talk about. So although I know a lot of this, I just want you to share a little bit about yourself and your background with everyone else so they can get to know you.
Sure. Okay. Well, I am I consider myself from Orlando. I've lived here for about 35 years. So I grew up in Longwood and once, went to Lake Mary High School, did the UCF thing. And once it got time to work, I fell into property management. And that's kind of what led me into real estate sales. So I did property management for about 13 years in student housing. And I think it really prepared me for what I'm doing now.
You are essentially a Florida native. You're essentially
I
an
know.
Orlando native.
I am. I
We
do consider myself that.
talked about that before, and I said, well, I feel like I have 2 unicorn children because they're actually born and being raised here in Orlando. And like whenever I meet someone like you, I'm like, oh, you're an artist. And then what I like to point out to all of the customers who are considering choosing a real estate professional is that when you can work with somebody who has that knowledge as a Florida native who's lived and worked and played here in their backyard forever, such an advantage that you have and so much value you bring to the table when you work with customers.
Totally agree. And Orlando is a huge place.
Yep.
So I do still find myself in discovery zones and every time I do, it's like this awakening. Like I should have known a place existed that, I hadn't seen before. But that's the cool part about it because you just know your little areas and zones and territories. And mine is pretty much anything that covers Seminole or Orange County. I feel like I know where it is.
I love that.
Yeah.
What would you say what are your favorite regions? I know you just mentioned 2 counties, but that's kind of broad. So where do you find over the years you've really specialized in and you just love, love, love?
Well, my heart lies where I live, which is downtown Orlando. So Colonial Town area, Audubon, and Winter Park. Those are pretty much my specialty zones, Maitland included because they're so close.
They're close.
Yeah. I spent a lot of time working though out in the UCF area and living there. So that's another area that I'm very, very familiar with. But I would say that I specialize Winter Park and downtown Orlando for sure.
Such a booming area. Now I know the downtown area in Winter Park has long been, a hot spot and highly sought after. It just feels to me, coming from Southwest Orlando, I'm your Southwest Orlando girl, right? Like, I know you tease me. You might say like I'm in that Windermere bubble, and I get it. But I have traveled out. Last time we met for lunch, I came to downtown.
That's true. That's true.
And it's amazing to see. I've been here. See, I'm getting old. I've been here almost 20 years now. And what's amazing to me is I consider myself pretty well versed in all things Orlando. But your point about this area, this region, this Central Florida is evolving in such a cool way that I feel like now anytime I venture out, there's something new to discover and explore.
Yes.
And even when we met for lunch downtown recently, I'm there and I think, oh my gosh, there's so much new. It's ever evolving and there's such a heartbeat and there's all these districts. And
Yeah.
so what do you share one thing you might love about the downtown area?
I love the growth and I love the diversity. I love that, you could hop a block and be in a completely different territory,
Yeah.
where people are doing different things or celebrating different things. And, specifically the area that I live in, there's a lot of old buildings and abandoned places that have now just been completely revitalized. And, you see that community happening. And
Yeah.
like you said, the districts are really cool too. So
Yeah.
that's a part of all of that. But that would be what I like the most. Like you said, you never know. You haven't driven down a road in a week, and then you're like, well, okay, we're going to
Yeah.
have a new what's coming here next. And
Yep.
that's exciting.
It's so exciting. I don't know about you, but sometimes I talk to customers and when a customer is starting out in early discovery for a consideration for Orlando, sometimes there can be a misconception that Central Florida is all about theme parks. And while obviously the theme park industry plays such an important role to our markets,
Sure.
and driving traffic and 77 million visitors last year, the reality is there's so much culture. And so when you're talking about downtown Orlando, one of the things I love about downtown Orlando, and I obviously don't live there, is man, there's so much awesome culture. The Dr. Phillips Center now. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
many great things to attend. Um, Obviously, I spend a lot more time downtown now because I'm at Amway a lot, with the
Yes.
Orlando
Yes.
Magic Partnership and all.
You do.
I like I like your multi-purpose blue shirt. It
I
covers
know.
the Orlando Magic Partnership and it covers eXp Realty.
So true.
So I think it's really cool to have a conversation and make sure that everyone understands it's like seemingly endless possibility in culture and activities and even just walking around the Lake
I
Eola.
know. So
I mean,
pretty.
it's beautiful.
It
And
is.
sometimes when people just come and do theme parks, they don't realize there's so much more in addition to how awesome the theme parks are.
Yeah, so much local love around
Oh,
and
I
just
love
art.
that.
And yeah, and that's what you see when you're downtown Lake Eola. Just the swans, all those things that we take for granted because it's just regular Orlando to us. Other people, can go to Disney, but then come to downtown Orlando and be completely surprised.
It's like a whole other world happening
It
here.
really is.
And it's not too far away.
Nope.
So, all right, you joined eXp Realty now a little over a month ago. We are
Yeah, about
so super excited to have you in the family. What are you most excited about as far as your partnership with eXp Realty and how you see this partnership enhancing your business goals?
I am most excited about connection. I think the just in so many different areas, and support, the support and connection from other agents and feeling like, there are how many 23,000 agents and somebody in Idaho could really help me out,
Yeah.
which was not something that I ever felt before. So and all of the tools make me very excited. The iBuyer marketplace or investment marketplace is crazy exciting. And I've been seeing a lot of success stories about that. Workplace is such an awesome tool that I feel like every business should be using. And, I feel marketing changes, it evolves, and typically real estate kind of doesn't roll with it. It kind of stays stagnant. And EXP is a great example of a real estate company that is not doing that.
Yeah.
That is all over, staying up to date with what's going on and how our industry is changing. So those things pump me up and make me very excited. And that's really the gist of it for me.
I love it. I'm not sure what to touch on that you just mentioned because it's all so good. I mean, what stands out a lot is obviously we work a lot in workplace. I've done a couple of Facebook Lives and mentioned Workplace by Facebook before. The reality is that Workplace by Facebook is available to anybody. Any organization, any individual, any person can go out right now while you're sitting here. Well, okay, wait till we're done talking, but finish watching Rachel and I discuss how awesome
All of this
business is
is.
going. And the reality is you can go out and start Workplace. I love Workplace for the fact that Workplace is a conduit for emerging organizations. And so what I believe is a thing of the past, certainly in the real estate industry, is that real estate should not be operated from the top down. And when I first started hearing thoughts on this topic, it was from Glenn Sanford, our founder and CEO. He actually did a Facebook Live about it. If you haven't looked it up, look it up because it's amazing.
Okay.
And he talked a lot about the difference between having an organization that's top down as compared to having an organization that has tools available that allow the organization to evolve and flourish from an emerging organization from the ground floor up. And when I first heard Glenn talk about that, it might even have been nearly a year ago now, it hit me really hard. And it hit me in a way to say, oh my gosh, my mentality and my mindset was so conditioned to be that way my whole life, even before real estate, when I was on the corporate side.
Right.
And it's not to imply that there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's just to know that there's another way. And when you have a merging organization, like what we're seeing through our Workplace with it's 24,000 plus now, Rachel.
Oh. Wow.
I know.
Really fast too.
I
Okay.
know. Even in the time that you've come on board. So what we're seeing is our Workplace has 24,000 plus eXp Realty agents who are all owners in the company, right? Because we're agent owners in our company, sharing everything to make sure that the train moves fast in an equal fashion. So we're collaborating at a high level. It really, between that and eXp World, it's just been such a game changer.
I know. It is a crazy game changer. You know, I've had a couple of experiences where I've needed something, and that's another thing that's so impressive is response time. And, you know, it might sound weird that you log into eXp World and then you just go pull a ticket and ask a question, but there's somebody right there to help you. And I've been so impressed by that. And same with working with brokers. You know, you have question, their response time is amazing, and you just get the answers that you need very quickly.
So a friend of mine, Elizabeth Riley, talks often about, and she's with eXp in Austin, she talks often about, from the outside looking in, it's hard to understand.
It is.
And from the inside looking out, it's oh so clear, right? And so I get it. I understand how there are those who will say, how is it possible? It's not possible that you could be in a cloud-based brokerage and that you could have connectivity and collaboration at a high level. Now, Jeff and I have been here for we're at 2 years and 2 months, and we know it. It's like air we breathe now. This is the reality.
Yeah.
And so I love the energy when I get to partner up with someone else like yourself, and you're like, yes, I see it, I feel it. It's here. You were right.
Yes.
Renee, you were right. It's here.
So true. It's so true. It's something that you want to share. That's what happens, because you're like, wow, this is so cool. Like, I want everybody to experience this. So
I feel it.
You do, you really do. And I've never felt so connected. So in collaboration wise, you know, there's never, I mean, goodness, I've met so many people in different places just by walking around eXp World. People will actually say, hey, you know, let me suggest this to you. Come over here and sit down. And then you just spark up these conversations. It's just super cool.
That's why I love the hashtag when we talk about Virbela, which Virbela is the developer who created eXp World. the founder of Urbella is Alex Howland. He just actually had a birthday. Happy belated birthday to Alex. But the hashtag that is often used when associated with Urbella in eXp world is created for connection.
Yes.
And again, I get it from the outside. One would say, how, what? And from the inside looking out, it's like, we don't just live it, we feel it. It's happening every day.
Completely.
Good stuff. So I'm curious, what are you most excited about in your future business goals? We're coming up on 2020. It's like weeks away, a whole new decade. We've had a lot of conversation, you and I, about some plans. So I want you to share with the world. What are you most excited about with your future business goals?
So I am excited about growth, about expanding my business and touching more customers, and provide, my focus is to be a better agent, be a better trust builder, be a better marketer. And I feel like with the support of eXp, I'm going to be able to pull that off in 2020. So it takes hard work. It takes consistency, as we all know. But I am over here plotting the plan and getting everything prepared for 2020. So I am very much looking forward to the growth, taking things to the next level.
I love it. We've shared a lot of conversation over the last year or two about you're either comfortable or you're growing.
Yeah.
Those in my circle might get tired of me saying that, but I almost feel like it could be like plastered on the wall as you walk into the room. It's like, really, truly, you're either one or the other. I don't think that it is any combination of the two. It's one or the other.
I agree with you completely. And you got to push yourself straight up out of that comfort zone. And then it's just kind of just starts rolling. The ball starts rolling and everything, as long as you want it. Got to work hard still. It's not like you snap your fingers and it happens, but
you have to, it's got to be earned. I mean, goodness, so we talk a lot on our team about understanding our customer's story and understanding how their needs and how we can best serve them. And through that discovery, listen, you can have introduction to people, whether it's customers for sales or in any aspect of your life. The question then becomes, all of us need to navigate, what are we doing to come from contribution and earn the relationship? And that it really applies to everything. And so you're right. There's no secret pill that someone takes and all of a sudden, boom, you're successful. However, it's really important to have all the tools.
It really is important to have all the tools.
which I'm so fired up because, like I said, when we started this conversation, I have been so privileged to spend some time with Rachel, and I'm excited for your 2020. I mean,
thanks, Renee.
I cannot wait to see the flourishing that I know is going to happen, because I see what you're putting in right now. And I know a year from now, we're going to sit down and have a conversation, and I don't want to rush it because we're going to have a lot of fun in between then, but I also can't wait to see the flourishing that goes on, because you're already just hitting the ground running so amazingly.
Well, thank you so much. And your support has just been what has gotten me through this transition. Changing and it's true, it really has. And it's nice to know that you're in my corner, and I appreciate it so much.
Well, it's not me. It's a whole team of, what do we have now? Last number I heard was over 600 eXp Realty support staff members available to us all. Yeah. So I appreciate the kudos, but the reality is, oh, no. Even I couldn't do what we do because remember, just like you, I'm supported by them as well. Absolutely. So anything the items that I'm able to cascade out to agents is because as a team leader, I am fully supported, just like a new incoming agent.
Yes.
So it does. I mean, Rachel, you're a broker associate. You come to eXp with unbelievable knowledge, amazing experience. I mean, you're great. You're going to get the same support I am, and an incoming agent who was newly licensed yesterday is going to get the same support, and it's all what we need, right?
Yeah, Completely.
And then that goes back to what we were saying with emerging organization, because it all cascades and trickles throughout. Because we're so supported, we can really focus on development.
Completely. Yes.
I love it.
I agree.
Okay, so we've talked a little bit about what you're excited about, and you really kind of mentioned the tools and resources that you're most excited about. But other than workplace and eXp world, what do you have cooking over there? Like any little hints you want to share with everybody as far as tools that you're using or you love now that you're really catapulting your business?
Sure thing. And it's when you live in a world of Excel to keep track of everything that you're doing. That's one world. And then there's a whole nother world, which I've been introduced to, which is KV Core. So yes,
KV Core
makes all of the touches much more organized. And so it's a learning process for sure, but it is, you know, it can be so helpful to your business. I mean, outside of like sorting in Excel and filtering and doing everything else, this is like handing that all to you on a silver platter. So that's what I'm working on over here in the background, is getting all
I'm
that.
happy to hear that. Obviously, I talk to agents a lot, and I'm still, after all these years, shocked, whether it's seasoned agents, top producing agents, or agents who are newer to the industry, that one thing and one thing alone, that if you do nothing else, that you're not working with a CRM. And so we know KV Core is much more than a CRM, but it's just that baby step to the structure and framework. Because I think that what happens with agents is we have so much coming at us, and we open our computer each and every day, and we look at it and we go, what do we have to do?
Right.
Like, I can't see the forest through the trees, right? And so a prepared agent who can be at their highest and best use each and every day, especially as it relates to income producing activities, you need to have the groundwork. And so it helps you. You need to start with number one is open your computer and have a system that's saying, this is what we're doing today.
Right. Like a roadmap for your day and for your year, So
Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. Makes a
So
big
you're
difference.
digging into KV Core, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
And KV Core, for those who may not realize too, it's available in the open market. Like, anybody can go get KV Core. The first year's around $8,000. And then I think the subsequent years are $7,000, but we're paying $0. That just got turned on for you when you joined, right?
Such a perk.
It's nice thing. Again, tools and resources.
Yep.
Okay, so what do you love most? We're going to shift back to our awesome city of Orlando. We've talked a lot about amazing things here, but what do you love most about living here?
Oh, sometimes I think about if I didn't live here. And I think that's what then makes me realize how much pride I have in our city, and how I would not, I'm sure I could adjust, but I feel like I belong here. And what I love the most are all of the connections, just all of the people I know, the places I walk into, and, it's just a really tight knit place.
Yeah.
And, outside of the growth and development and, UCF Knights, Orlando Magic, all of our home teams. Yes.
Wait, go Magic.
Yay! Orlando's home. That is what I love about it. Yeah.
Do you know you just gave me goosebumps for like 10 seconds?
Woo!
So sweet.
Yay!
And I hope that those watching feel that. You said something really special there, and it's so awesome to work with realtors who are in the industry and who possess what you just outlined. Because when you work with a realtor who has a true love and passion for the area, I mean, listen, this is about, when I talk to customers who are considering coming to Windermere, Dr. Phillips, we're expanding a lot into Winter Garden too. Obviously, Winter Garden is huge. It's about the lifestyle. And
Yeah.
so it's about, I'm talking about, well, some of the things that I love and some of the things that my previous customers have shared with me that they love. Where do you love to go get coffee? Where do you love to go for dinner on Friday night? What does Sunday afternoon look like to you in a perfect world? And here's some of the things I'm doing with my family. And oh, by the way, like we're talking a lot right now with customers about what are the things I love to do with my children in Orlando in the Christmas season.
Yeah.
Like these are
So much to do. Yeah.
right? And I love this stuff because it doesn't mean that what I love, they're going to love. It just means that I like to share it because I share your sentiment. I've been here 20 years and I love it here. Like we're here forever.
Yeah. I know.
I love what you said about if I think about not living here, like that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, it's like, oh no, I love traveling and I love a lot of other places, but man, this is home. You're right.
It is. And even though we're in the center of the state, when I think about other places, I think like, you cannot take me away from water because we're also just so close to beautiful beaches. And that's a whole nother side of fun, that we're inland a little bit, but it just takes you like 30 or 40 minutes and we're right there on, these gorgeous beaches. So either way you go, east or west.
Well, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, our team will have a customer who will say, we're considering both Central Florida and maybe one of the coastal areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, that's great. I understand. Florida's coastal areas are obviously stunning and beautiful. We have a lot of really great beaches, right? One of the things that anybody considering multiple locations in Florida needs to consider is that Central Florida has an advantage. And that advantage is that we can go on a weekend trip nearly anywhere in the state and it makes sense.
Yep.
The Keys are getting a little far, but for the most part, we could go to endless beaches for weekend trips.
Yep.
And you pick a side and you reside there and it can feel a little polarizing because then it's not as easily accessible. Central Florida, the word central says it all.
It does.
Central equals advantage because you are centrally located.
Completely agree.
It doesn't get much better than that. So what other thoughts do you want to share with everybody today? I could go on and talk with you for hours. Clearly, we know that.
I know this happens to us every time. I just appreciate the opportunity to do this and to share all of the things that are going on in my world right now. And I hope that we do, like you said, get the opportunity to do this a year from now. And there's some really exciting things to share.
I will sit down with you anytime. Anytime Rachel Peters wants to sit down and have a conversation with me because you have so many great things to share. You have an open invitation. In fact, I learned from you and I'm just so grateful that we're in business together.
Thank you, Renee. I am too.
Oh, my pleasure. Okay. So share your contact information, all of it. I tagged you, but how does everyone find Rachel Peters?
Rachel Peters Realtor, www.rachelpetersrealtor.com, email address rp@rachelpetersrealtor. Pretty much if you search Rachel Peters Realtor, you're going to find me, especially with eXp. So that's my handle on everything, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of them.
This girl's everywhere. Watch out. You're on fire in big ways that are all awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I enjoyed talking to you as I always do. And let's keep the conversation going.
For sure.
All right. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Welcome to the family.
Woo, thank you.
Bye, Rachel. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
You too.